Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. I wish my schedule allowed me to join you in person, but important budget negotiations require my presence in Washington. Let me begin by saying thank you for the Cornerstone Award. That means a lot. I am honored to receive it. It's a reminder of the close working relationship I've enjoyed with Basin Electric over the 26 years I've now served in the United States Senate. Affordable and reliable electricity is a key reason why North Dakota's economy is doing so well. And Basin Electric is supplying North Dakota with some of the cheapest power in the nation and exporting power throughout our region. You're powering other industries in the state and directly creating some of the best paying jobs that we have. After 51 years of service in the Upper Great Plains, you've clearly demonstrated the value of the cooperative model for producing power for rural America. If the recent study prepared for the North Dakota Industrial Commission is correct, electricity demand in the Bakken region could grow by 300% over the next 20 years. It's incredible. Basin will have to grow in order to meet a large portion of that demand. I'm confident that Basin Electric will meet that challenge, just as it has met the challenges of the past. I vividly remember the many obstacles we had to overcome as part of the sale of the Great Plains Synfuels plant. In 1988, when the Department of Energy was contemplating the sale, it was important to ensure that there was congressional oversight, so I included that requirement in the law. That was important because, as you know, there were some who wanted to buy the plant just to shut it down and take advantage of the tax benefits. Throughout 1993 and 1994, we worked with the Department of Energy and FERC to keep the Synfuels plant open. It's really one of my proudest accomplishments. In 1996, we organized members of Congress from 8 states to dissuade FERC from adopting a proposed settlement with 3 interstate pipeline companies that would have forced the Synfuels plant to close. And in 1999, we convinced the IRS to allow the Synfuels plant to sell excess production tax credits to finance the CO2 pipeline and install necessary environmental upgrades. As a result, the Synfuels plant is the world's largest coal-based carbon capture and storage project, and Basin Electric is able to continue producing domestic energy and essential chemicals with a multi-million-dollar benefit to the state's economy. You can be proud. Basin Electric's success is a reminder of the simple fact that America needs coal power. There's no other power source that can come close to meeting our needs in the foreseeable future. Now, we all know natural gas has grown in use, but the history of natural gas price fluctuation shows that our nation needs a balanced portfolio of generation sources. And I think all of you know that. I certainly do. That's why I've worked throughout my time in the Senate to ensure that coal-based energy has a strong future. To do that, we need to ensure that regulations are reasonable. We won a big victory in March when the EPA finally recognized the value of the state's plan on regional haze. I was glad to work with Basin Electric to make it clear to the EPA that its proposed federal plan was totally unworkable. This year, I also continued to confront the possibility that the EPA will designate coal ash as a hazardous substance. We all know the harm that could cause coal-based power. In August, Senator Hoeven and I introduced modified legislation that will allow states to craft reasonable regulations on the safe disposal of coal ash. The bill now has 11 co-sponsors that are Democrats and 11 Republicans. So we believe we will have the 60 votes necessary to pass it in the United States Senate. We came close to passing it as part of the highway bill earlier this year, but we could not get agreement with the House of Representatives. The challenge we face now is finding an opportunity to pass it in the final weeks of this Congress. Another part of ensuring a strong future for coal power is developing new technologies to reduce carbon and other air emissions. In September, I introduced legislation to modify the tax credit for carbon capture to provide more certainty to potential projects. The bill also makes the credit transferable so it can be used by cooperatives like Basin Electric. I'll be working with Finance Committee Chairman Baucus to move it forward. We also need policies like the ones I included in my Fuel Act last year: clean coal bonds, accelerated depreciation, strong federal R&D support. These would all help advance the new coal technologies we're going to need for the future. North Dakota is leading the way on energy, but we need a nationwide plan. Right now, we're spending almost $1 billion every day on foreign energy. Imagine what a difference it would make to invest that money in producing more energy right here in the Midwest instead of sending that money to the Middle East. We've made enormous progress in the last 4 years, reducing our dependence on foreign energy from 57% to 42%, but much more remains to be done. Much like reducing the national debt, reducing our dependence on foreign energy is a long-term challenge that must be met. Let me close by saying thank you for the many years we've worked together to help ensure a bright future for North Dakota and our nation. And thank you again for this award. It's been an honor and a privilege to represent North Dakota in the United States Senate. I wish you all continued success and the very best. Thank you.